Hey guys, Miss Nicole here, and today we are going to read the story, Stella and Roy Go Camping. One warm summer day, Stella and Roy set off with their mother to go camping. Stella carried a sleeping bag and her new book of animal tracks. Roy carried his new flashlight and a big bag filled with trail mix. Mother carried everything else. At the start of the trail, they studied a large map. This year, Stella had learned to read, and now she practiced on everything she could. She pointed to a white dot and read out loud, "You are here." Her finger traced a wiggly yellow line up to a big blue shape. "Lone Pine Lake," she read. "That's where we're going." "Look over here," said Roy. "A bear." Stella read the words above the picture. "Don't be bear careless." "Bears," whispered Roy. "I hope we see one." "Well, I hope we don't," said Stella. "Well, I hope you two are ready to go," said Mother. "This pack weighs a ton." So they headed up the trail to Lone Pine Lake. Soon Roy saw some footprints in a dried-up mud puddle. "Look, Stella, bear tracks!" he shouted. "No way, Roy," said Stella. She flipped through the pages of her book. "Here they are," she cried, excited to find a picture of tracks that matched the ones on the ground. Those prints were made by a coyote, see? "Oh," said Roy, "just a coyote." They hiked along the trail again, and after a while, it led them over a rocky ridge. Stella stopped to read a small sign, "Lone Pine Lake, 2 miles." "Look, Stella, baby bear tracks," shouted Roy. He pointed to paw prints near a boulder. "Sorry, Roy," said Stella. "Those tracks are way too small." She flipped through her book. "I think they were made by a marmot. See?" "Oh," said Roy, "just a marmot." At lunchtime, they sat down by a stream to have salami sandwiches, oranges, and juice. Afterward, Stella and Roy took off their boots and socks and waded in the icy water. "Look, Stella, a bear went fishing," shouted Roy. "Bear?" said Mother, sitting up. "Who said bear?" "Roy did," said Stella. "But don't worry, there's no bear." Stella waded up to the bank to get her book. "Those are only raccoon tracks. See? They look like little hands." "Oh," said Roy, "just a raccoon." The trail wound up and up. Roy grew tired. He walked slowly, keeping his eyes on the ground. Every time he spotted animal tracks, he cried out, "Bear!" And every time he did, Stella would hike back down the trail, look at the tracks, find the picture in her book, and announce, "Wrong, Roy." They saw deer tracks, skunk tracks, bobcat tracks, and porcupine tracks, but no bear tracks. As at last they came to another trail sign, "Lone Pine Lake, 1/2 mile," Stella read. "Does that mean we're close?" "Almost there," sighed Mother, mopping her forehead. Stella balanced her way across a fallen log bridge and ran ahead up the trail. "We've seen so many footprints," she thought. "I wonder where all the animals are." Then suddenly the trail ended, and there it was, Lone Pine Lake. "Hooray!" yelled Stella. "We're here!" Stella helped Mother pitch the tent, pounding the stakes into the pine-needly earth. Roy gathered small logs and sticks and bits of curly bark for a campfire later. When a pot of water was finally boiling on the tiny camp stove, Roy dropped in noodles, Stella stirred in spices, and Mother added cut-up hot dogs to make their favorite soup. It smelled so delicious in the cool mountain air. As they washed the dirty pots and bowls and heated up lake water, the sun began to drop behind the mountains. "Soon it will be dark," said Mother, "so we had better get ready. All our food, cereal, apples, even our toothpaste and sunscreen must go in here." She opened a black plastic barrel. Stella and Roy helped her pack everything into it. "Bears go after anything that smells good," Mother said. "But once I turn these screws, there's no way Mr. or Mrs. Bear can get at our food, no matter how hungry they are." "Roy," she added, "you roll the bear barrel away over to that tree. We won't want it anywhere near our tent. Then Mother built a small campfire with Roy's wood and bark. The flames cast weird shadows that danced on the tree trunks and the sides of their tent. Surprise! Look what I have! Mother held up a small bag. Marshmallows! Cheered Roy. You'll have to eat them all, said Mother, or a bear may come sniffing for leftovers. No problem, said Stella. We can manage. When the gooey roasted marshmallows were all gone and the fire put out, Stella, Roy, and Mother zipped themselves into the tent and snuggled into their sleeping bags. Stella and Mother fell right to sleep, but Roy held tight to his new yellow flashlight, listening to the strange night noises. He heard trees moaning as their branches swayed and scraped in the wind. He heard waves lapping, clattering the pebbles on the shore. He heard Mother snoring softly. He heard their food clunking as it rolled around in the black plastic bear barrel. Their food? Clunking around in the bear barrel? Stella, Roy whispered. Wake up, I think there's a bear outside. Oh, Roy, Stella mumbled. It's just a dream. She rolled over and went back to sleep. There it was again, louder this time. Roy wondered what to do. Very quietly, he crawled out of his sleeping bag and unzipped the tent flap. In the moonlight, a brown bear was rolling the black plastic bear barrel all around their campsite. She juggled it, she wrapped her paws around it, she spun it and swatted it, but the bear barrel just rolled away, sending her chasing after it. One more swat, and both barrel and bear rolled near the tent. Now Roy really didn't know what to do. What if the bear came closer? Roy aimed his flashlight and turned it on. Oof! The bear snorted, straightening up on her hind legs. Roy held his breath. The bear looked a lot bigger now. For a moment more, the bear stood blinking into the beam of light. Then she snorted again, dropped on all fours, and padded off into the woods. Roy quickly zipped up the tent and crawled back into his sleeping bag. He could barely believe it. He had seen a bear! He turned off his flashlight and lay awake for a long, long while. In the morning, Stella was the first one up. She unzipped the tent flap and stepped outside. The lake shimmered in the early morning sun. Animals were everywhere. She held still and gazed all around. She saw 2 deer, a coyote, a skunk, and lots of birds. Then she saw the bear barrel. It was covered with scratches and dust and surrounded by hundreds of footprints. They were bigger than her own feet. These sure don't look like anything we saw yesterday, she thought. Roy, she called. Quick, get my book. Hurry. Roy brought the book, and Stella flipped through the pages until she found a picture that matched. These tracks were made by just a bear, Roy said. It was big and brown and really cool, and I saw it. And this time, Stella knew Roy was right. The end. I'll see you next time. Bye.